All right, settle in, dear listener. Feel the weight of the day slowly melting away, your shoulders softening, your breathing, long and unhurried, each breath a tide, drifting gently in and out. Notice how the room around you feels quieter now, how even the faintest sounds, perhaps the hum of the air, a clock ticking far away, seems softer, slower. Allow yourself to imagine that with each exhale, you are letting go of something you no longer need, a thought, a worry, a small tension. Gone. Our story today begins in the quiet courtyard of an ancient stone keep. It is night, but not yet deep night, that hour between dusk and midnight, when the air is cool and fragrant, and the moon hangs as a soft silver lantern. Above, the courtyard is enclosed on three sides by high, weathered walls, their stones warm in color even in the pale glow. Moss has crept into the mortar, softening their lines. Ivy climbs lazily, as if it has no wish to hurry, curling over arched windows and tracing slow, green fingers toward the tower. In the center of this space, there is a small, circular garden. Beds of herbs stretch out like quiet spokes around a low stone fountain. And here, moving with the patient care of someone who has done this countless times before, is the alchemist. His robe is the color of midnight, though at the edges it has been lightened and worn by years of brushing past garden walls and bending over growing things. Around his waist is a narrow leather belt from which hangs a pouch that seems always to have what he needs: a tiny silver spoon, a bundle of twine, a folded square of fine linen. Tonight, he tends to his night-blooming herbs, lemon balm, whose scent drifts up in waves whenever the leaves are brushed, rosemary, tall and fragrant, its slender leaves holding the day's warmth like secrets. And, most prized of all, the elusive lunaria, whose silver leaves catch the moonlight in such a way that they seem to glow from within. In the 13th century, it was said that lunaria leaves could steady a trembling hand and calm the heart. Before sleep. The alchemist moves to a low bench beside the fountain, where a mortar and pestle await him. The sound is soft, stone on stone, circling slowly, with a rhythm as old as the keep itself. Crush, pause, 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 breathe. The fragrance of the herbs mingles with the cool, damp scent of the fountain. Water trickles steadily from the carved mouth of a lion into the basin below, each drop catching a shard of moonlight before it falls. A gentle breeze passes through the courtyard, stirring the ivy, setting the rosemary to swaying. You can almost hear the tiny sighs of the leaves as they move. Somewhere beyond the walls, an owl calls low, rounded notes that seem to dissolve into the night. The alchemist hums softly to himself. Not a song exactly, but a kind of tuneless comfort, the sort of sound a person makes when they are alone, but deeply at peace. With each slow turn of the pestle, the herbs break down into a green, fragrant paste. He pauses now and then to lift the mortar toward his face, breathing in the aroma. He pours a thin ribbon of water from a clay jar into the mixture. The water catches the moonlight in its arc, shimmering for the briefest moment before vanishing into the green. He stirs gently, and the paste takes on a glossy sheen, as if it were absorbing the very light around it. This, he will tell you if you ask, is the beginning of a tincture meant to quiet restless thoughts. It is not meant to cure, only to soothe, to make the edges of the day's noise soft enough to slip past into the stillness of sleep. The breeze returns, slightly cooler now, and the alchemist lifts his gaze to the sky. The moon is higher, the stars beginning to show in earnest. Each one seems just a little more vivid when seen from within the hush of these walls. He sets the mortar aside, covers it with linen, and ties it loosely with twine. It will rest here overnight, under the moon's watch. In the morning, he will strain it into a small glass vial, careful not to spill a drop. But for now, there is nothing left to do but sit on the bench, hands folded loosely in his lap, listening to the fountain. The night is neither silent nor busy. It is the in-between hum of the world at rest, and you can rest here, to just feel the cool stone beneath you, the soft weight of night air on your skin, the faint, steady rhythm of your breathing, in and out, in and out. Let your mind wander in the scent of lemon balm and rosemary, the silver gleam of lunaria leaves, the gentle turning of the moon overhead. Here, you are safe. Here, you are still. Asterisk. Yes, let's drift further. Keep your breath slow, gentle. Feel the last bit of daylight slip away behind your closed eyes. With each inhale, imagine drawing in the scent of fresh herbs and cool stone. With each exhale, let go of another weight you've been carrying. There is nothing to hold on to here but comfort. Our alchemist shifts slightly on his bench, the robe's fabric making a faint rustle in the quiet. His eyes are on the fountain again, not watching, exactly, but resting. The steady trickle of water feels almost like a voice, patient, reassuring, as if to keep itself is breathing alongside him. Beyond the walls, the land rolls gently into forest and meadow. In the distance, a stream catches a glint of starlight. The night creatures have begun their hidden music, the slow chirp of crickets, the occasional flutter of moth wings as they pass near the lantern hung by the gate. The alchemist reaches into his pouch and brings out a small wooden box. Its surface is carved with curling vine patterns, worn smooth by years of being opened and closed. Inside, wrapped in soft wool, are dried petals from last summer's lunaria. They are pale and papery now, delicate as whispers, yet still faintly fragrant. He sprinkles a few into the mortar, where they mingle with the fresh paste beneath the linen. The petals curl slightly at the touch of moisture, and the fragrance deepens, richer, warmer, like a memory of sunshine folded into the cool night with slow care. He stirs again, the soft scrape of the pestle keeping time with his breathing. You might notice how, as you listen, your own breath has found that same rhythm. Slow circle, inhale, slow circle, exhale, as if the motion of his hands is guiding your thoughts into a calmer orbit. A moth lands on the edge of the fountain, its wings a muted gray dot. It drinks from the shallow water, pooled in a groove of the stone. The alchemist watches without moving, not wanting to disturb the tiny visitor. Moments stretch here, unhurried, each one a small eternity, before the moth lifts away again into the night. From somewhere within the keep, a faint glow spills from a narrow arched window, perhaps the embers of a hearth where bread baked earlier in the evening. The scent of wood smoke drifts in, mingling with the herbal air, creating a comfort that wraps itself around you like a blanket. He stands now, joints creaking softly, like the wood of an old door, in the far corner of the courtyard. A narrow wooden gate leads into another, smaller, garden one not for remedies, but for food. He walks slowly toward it, lantern in hand. The horn panes of the lantern give off that milky, warm light, swaying gently as he moves. Inside, rows of beans and peas rest under the night sky, their tendrils curling along twine lines. Lettuces form pale green circles near the path, and a few stubborn strawberries still cling to their leaves, holding the last sweetness of summer. He crouches to pluck one, brushing away a bead of dew. The berry glistens in the lantern light, and when he bites, the faint sound is followed by a softness of flavor that even the darkness cannot hide. It is the taste of the day's warmth, kept safe until now. For a moment, he just stands there in the stillness, the lantern casting gentle arcs of light over soil and stone. It's here, surrounded by growing things, that the alchemist feels the pulse of life most clearly, slow, patient, rooted. Not rushing, not demanding. Simply existing. He returns to the bench, setting the lantern beside the mortar again. Above, the moon has climbed higher, its light softer now, more diffused. Clouds drift lazily past, their edges glowing faintly as they wander across the sky. And you, perhaps you feel your own thoughts drifting in much the same way, soft, unhurried, one blending into the next, like clouds in moonlight. There is no need to catch them, just watch them pass. The alchemist leans back slightly, resting his hands on the cool stone of the bench. The night around him is whole, every sound, every breath, every shifting shadow woven into a single, seamless quiet. It is a quiet that does not demand you to listen, but welcomes you when you do. If you wish, You may close your eyes now. Hear the fountain, feel the breeze, smell the rosemary and lemon balm, and let the moonlit garden hold you the way the alchemists keep holds its courtyard, safe, steady, and timeless. Yes, let's sink a little deeper into the quiet. Your breath, slow and steady. Your mind, softer now, like moonlight pooling on still water, that the edges of the day are far away, fading into the mist of things you no longer need to hold. Here, in the alchemist's moonlit garden, time feels different. Not faster, not slower, simply present. As though the moment itself has chosen to stay with you, unbroken. The alchemist shifts the lantern slightly, and the light glances across the silver leaves of the lunaria. They glow, not with brightness, but with a kind of gentle certainty, like they have known the moon's path for centuries and have no need to question it. He brushes the back of his hand lightly over one leaf. It is cool, and just faintly soft at the edges, as if the air itself has wrapped around it. Somewhere, above, a light breeze passes through the higher branches of the keep's surrounding trees. The leaves respond with a long, shushing sigh, like the whisper of a page being turned in a very old book. And perhaps you imagine that a book so ancient its pages smell faintly of earth and herbs. A book the alchemist himself might keep tucked away on a shelf deep inside the keep. He looks upward for a moment, following the slow drift of clouds. One is shaped almost like a small boat, sailing across a sea of night. You might picture yourself in that little vessel, drifting easily, with nothing but starlight to guide you. The water beneath your boat, calm and dark, holding you without effort. The sky above, wide and endless, yet gentle in its reach. Back in the courtyard, the alchemist rises once again. His steps are unhurried, each one landing with the soft sound of leather against stone. He moves toward a tall wooden shelf against the wall, a place where he keeps small clay jars, neatly lined and labeled in his looping script. Their names are in Latin and in the old tongue of his village, words that feel warm and weighty when spoken aloud. He selects one marked Rosmarinus, its lid sealed with a strip of beeswax. The wax is warm to the touch from being near the lantern, and as he peels it away, a faint scent rises sharp and clean, like the air after a fresh rain. He pinches a bit of the dried rosemary between his fingers, sprinkling it into the mortar. The leaves crackle faintly as they touch the paste, a soft reminder of the sunlight they once knew. Once more, he circles the pestle slowly, the sound steady and certain. The rhythm is like a breath, slow in, slow out, and you may notice that your own breath has matched it without you even meaning to. The body knows what the mind sometimes forgets, that it is safe to slow down here. The alchemist leans forward slightly, inhaling the mingled scents. Lemon balm to soften the mind, rosemary to clear it, lunaria to soothe the heart, each chosen not in haste, but in harmony. It is an old practice, one passed from hands to hands before his, each touch adding something to the knowledge, like rings growing inside the trunk of a tree. The fountain continues its quiet work, each drop of water meeting the basin with a soft kiss. The sound is never the same twice, yet always familiar, as if it has been here forever and will remain long after. You might imagine sitting beside the alchemist, now feeling the cool stone under you, the lantern's glow brushing your skin, the night wrapping itself around you like a long-forgotten friend. There's no hurry to speak, no need for words at all. The stillness itself is enough. Far away, a bell sounds from another tower, slow, deep notes marking the hour. The sound rolls over the courtyard like a wave, each tone fading into the next, until it becomes part of the quiet again. This is the world's way of reminding you that the night has its own gentle order, and that you are part of it. The alchemist sets aside the pestle and covers the mortar once more. His hands rest on the linen for a moment, as though blessing the work before it sleeps beneath the moon. Then he exhales a long, contented breath, and you might find yourself following with one of your own above. The sky deepens, the stars more numerous. Now, they seem to lean in, curious, as if to watch over this little courtyard and the work done here. And in that gaze, there is a softness, a kind of permission to let yourself drift. The lantern's flame flickers, casting slow-moving shadows over the herbs. They sway slightly in the breeze, as though nodding to the rhythm of the night. And somewhere in that rhythm, your mind may already be halfway to dreams. Yes, let's drift further into the stillness. The air is cooler now, settling over the courtyard like a silken cloak. You feel it wrap gently around your shoulders, soft and light, carrying with it the scent of rosemary, lemon balm, and damp earth. Your breath stays slow, unhurried. Inhale, a quiet fullness of night air. Exhale, a gentle release, as though the weight of the day simply rolls off into the darkness. The alchemist rises once again, taking the lantern in one hand. He walks toward a narrow archway at the far end of the courtyard, a place half hidden by climbing ivy. The stone here is older, the mortar worn thin, yet the arch stands strong, as if guarding the secret beyond it. He pushes through the ivy, and you follow in your mind, feeling the soft brush of leaves against your cheek. Beyond is a smaller, more secluded space, a moonlit cloister, its four sides wrapped in covered walkways, its center holding a square pool of still water. The water is so calm, it reflects the stars above without distortion, as though the sky has descended to rest here for the night. The alchemist kneels beside the pool and dips his fingers into the cool surface. The ripples that form are slow, deliberate, like circles of time spreading outward. He lifts a handful of water and lets it fall back into the pool, the soft splash echoing faintly under the stone arches. In the Middle Ages, cloisters like these were places of contemplation, spaces designed not for labor, but for quiet thought. Monks would walk the covered paths in slow, measured steps, the sound of sandals on stone blending with the breeze through the arches. Here, one could feel the turning of the seasons, the flow of hours, the long patience of the earth itself. The alchemist stands and begins to walk the perimeter of the cloister. His lanterns glow, trailing along the walls. At intervals, small niches hold carved figures, saints, scholars, and mythical beasts. Each one catches the lantern light differently. A curl of a stone beard here, the glint of an inlaid gem there, the faint shadow of a wing stretching toward the ground. He stops at one, carving a small angel with a face worn smooth by centuries of touch. He places his palm gently against it, a quiet acknowledgement of the hands that came before his. And perhaps, as you picture this, you sense that same long chain, lives lived, nights passed, dreams dreamt, all leading to this single, moonlit moment. From the far side of the cloister, a faint rustling draws his attention. It is only the wind moving through the dry stalks of lavender planted along the edge of the pool. Even in darkness, the scent rises, rich and calming, wrapping itself into the air like a lullaby. You breathe it in, letting it curl through your thoughts. The alchemist moves back toward the archway, but before he leaves, he takes a small vial from his belt and fills it with the still water of the pool. He corks it tightly, tucking it away as though it were as precious as gold. This water, touched by moonlight and reflection, will be used to finish his tincture. Come morning. Back in the courtyard, the lantern's light feels warmer after the cool silver of the cloister. The herbs sway gently, as though welcoming him home. He sets the vial beside the covered mortar, the two waiting together in the moon's quiet care. He then moves toward the keep's heavy wooden door. Its iron hinges sigh softly as it opens, releasing a faint wave of warm air from within. The smell of a banked hearth and old wood greets you, a scent that feels like the inside of a long-loved book. Stepping inside, he places the lantern on a low table. The light falls over shelves stacked with glass bottles, each filled with liquids in shades of amber, green, and gold. Some are clear as water, others thick like honey. In the hush of the keep, you can almost hear them, not literally, but in the way certain things seem to hold their own quiet life. The alchemist pulls a chair close to the hearth. The fire is mostly embers now. They glow, deep and steady, crackling faintly as a small log shifts. He leans back, the wooden chair creaking softly, and lets the warmth seep into him. The night outside continues its patient rhythm: water, wind, faint rustle of leaves. Inside, the fire's heartbeat keeps time with your own. You might feel in this moment a kind of balance, the outer world holding the stillness, the inner world holding the warmth. Together, they form a perfect cradle for rest. And here, dear listener, you may linger. Let the scene hold you. Feel the slow turning of the moon, the gentle breathing of the keep, the way everything here is in its right place. Yes, let's wander deeper into the softest part of night. Your breath remains slow, steady. The world outside the story is far away now. Like a shore you have drifted past and can no longer see. The alchemist sits by the hearth, the firelight washing over the lines of his face. Each flicker seems to smooth the day's creases. Replacing them with the calm of evening, he reaches for a small clay mug, filled halfway with a pale infusion brewed earlier from chamomile and honey. The steam rises in thin, silvery curls, carrying a scent that settles in the chest like a gentle sigh. He takes a slow sip, then another. The warmth fills him from within, a quiet companion to the fire's glow. Outside, the fountain continues its endless rhythm, and the garden beyond is bathed in moonlight. The lantern by the mortar has gone still, its flames steady. Now, as if it too has found rest, after a time, the alchemist stands and crosses to a wooden chest at the far side of the room. Its lid is bound in iron, though the metal is dulled by age and softened at the edges. When he lifts it, the faint scent of dried herbs and pressed flowers escapes, as though 100 summer afternoons were stored within. Inside are pouches tied with twine, bundles wrapped in linen, and small wax tablets covered in delicate script. He removes one of the pouches, this one labeled in careful, faded ink, Papaver somniferum. The dried petals within are pale, fragile, and almost weightless. They rustle faintly as he opens the pouch. The sound so soft it could be mistaken for the whisper of cloth against skin. From an upper shelf, he retrieves a small glass vial of oil infused with lavender, made many months ago when the fields were in full bloom. The oil catches the firelight, gleaming gold. He mixes a single drop with the papery petals, folding them gently between his hands. The warmth of his palms releases their scent, a blend so subtle and so soothing that it feels like a slow tide pulling you toward the shore of dreams. He places the prepared petals into a shallow wooden bowl, setting it near the hearth where the heat will coax their fragrance into the air. Already, the room feels different, thicker with warmth, richer with scent, yet somehow lighter in the mind. The alchemist sits again, his eyes half-lidded, gazing into the embers. Here, time bends softly. Minutes stretch like silk, shadows lengthen, and the steady breathing of the keep's old walls becomes part of the night's rhythm. Beyond the door, the garden sleeps. The lunaria leaves have grown even paler under the higher moon, their silver glow, now so delicate it looks like light trapped inside glass. Rosemary stalks lean toward each other, their scent mingling in the breeze. A spider spins a slow, deliberate thread between two stems, the silk catching the lantern glow in brief golden sparks. Somewhere, high in the tower, a shutter clicks softly in the wind. Its movement is unhurried, the sound repeating at long intervals, like a clock too lazy to mark every second. The alchemist hears it and smiles faintly. The keep's own heartbeat, old and familiar. He leans forward now, stirring the embers with an iron poker. They shift and glow, brighter for a moment, sending a faint warmth toward your face if you were here beside him. The shadows on the walls dance lazily, stretching long limbs toward the ceiling before folding back again. He replaces the poker and closes his eyes. For a moment, the only sounds are the faint crackle of the fire and the distant trickle of the fountain. It is the kind of quiet that seems to seep into you, filling every space until there is nothing left but stillness. You feel yourself leaning into it, breathing in time with it, your body heavy in the most comforting way, your thoughts slowing, like snowflakes drifting to rest on the ground. The alchemist lets his mind wander, He thinks of the garden in spring, when the lemon balm leaves are bright and tender, when the air hums with bees moving from bloom to bloom. Remembers the cloister pool at dawn, the surface covered in floating petals after a warm night's wind. He recalls the smell of the first fire lit each autumn, and the way to keep stones hold the heat. Long after the flames have gone out, these memories are not loud. They arrive like the tide, coming in softly, leaving even softer, and each one carries a fragment of peace. Perhaps you notice, too, that your own memories have begun to rise, unbidden, gentle. They pass like clouds across the mind's sky, nothing to grasp, nothing to hold, just shapes and colors that drift on. The alchemist's breathing deepens. His hands rest loosely on the arms of the chair. The warmth of the fire, the scent of herbs, the slow heartbeat of the keep. Together, they form a lullaby, too deep for words. Yes, let's drift further still, into the part of the night where waking and dreaming begin to braid together. Your breath remains soft and steady. Inhale, filling slowly, as though you're gathering a piece of the night sky. Exhale, letting go, like releasing a leaf to float on still water. The alchemist sits motionless for a long moment, the weight of his robe pooling around him, the embers humming faintly in the hearth. Then, with a slow, careful movement, he rises. He takes the lantern once more, though its light is dimmer now, a small flame held cupped in the dark. He opens the heavy door to the courtyard, and the night air greets him with a cool, fragrant touch. It wraps around him instantly, carrying the mingled scents of lemon balm and damp stone, rosemary, and the faint sweetness of lunaria leaves. The sky overhead is deep and endless, the moon hanging higher now, a guardian keeping watch over the keep. He walks toward the fountain again, the lantern's light brushing the herbs in passing. Their shadows ripple softly over the stone, like patterns moving beneath water. When he reaches the fountain's edge, he lowers himself onto the bench and lets the lantern rest beside him. The sound of water falling is steady, patient. It feels older than the keep, older than the garden, older even than the alchemist himself. And yet, it feels personal, like it's speaking to him alone. The drops fall, and each one is a note in a song without end, a song meant only to soothe, not to be remembered. The alchemist leans forward slightly, peering into the fountain's basin. The surface reflects the moonlight, but not perfectly. The ripples catch and bend the image, turning the moon into soft, glowing fragments. For a moment, he imagines that each fragment is a seed, waiting to be planted in the earth, to grow into silver-leaved trees. A small clay cup sits at the fountain's edge, and he dips it into the water. He drinks slowly, the coolness spreading through him, grounding him in the moment. Then, he pours the remaining water gently over the rosemary, as though offering thanks. The garden seems to respond, or perhaps it is only the breeze, the leaves rustling in a pattern that feels almost like words taught in the Middle Ages. It was not uncommon for people to believe that certain plants could speak to those who listened long enough, not in voices like ours, but in the rhythms of growth, in the way they moved with wind and light. The alchemist closes his eyes and listens. At first, it is only the fountain, the breeze, the distant chirp of crickets. But slowly, under it all, there is something softer, the faint creak of stems shifting, the brush of leaves against one another, a language of patience, of seasons, of seasons. His breathing matches it now, as though the garden itself has taken up the role of guiding him into stillness. And perhaps you feel it too. Each inhale and exhale is part of a larger rhythm, one that has been here long before you and will remain long after. The lantern's flame flutters as a moth drifts near, circles once, and then drifts away again into the dark dot above. The clouds are fewer now, the stars sharper, more insistent in their watch. Somewhere at the edge of hearing, an owl glides through the trees, wings so silent that its passing is known only by the sudden hush of smaller creatures. The alchemist reaches for the covered mortar and loosens the twine. The scent that escapes is deeper now. The herbs have mingled through the night, their edges softened, their voices blended. It is the smell of calm itself, something that lives between waking and sleep. He stirs the mixture slowly, not to change it, but simply to let the motion carry him. The paste is thick now, glistening faintly in the lantern light, as though it has drawn in the moon's reflection. He smiles, a small, private thing, and covers it again. It will wait until morning. For now, he leans back, looking up at the moon. Its light spills over the courtyard walls, pooling on the herbs, on the bench, on his robe. And in that light, everything feels connected. The garden, the keep, the sky above, and the quiet figure sitting within it all. The night deepens, and you feel yourself sinking with it. Not downward, exactly, but inward, toward the center of stillness, where nothing is hurried and nothing is heavy. Here, you can rest as the garden rests, breathing in time with the fountain, drifting in the same slow rhythm as the moon's passage overhead. Yes, let's drift deeper still, into that tender place where the edges of reality begin to soften. Your breath remains slow, steady. Each inhale is cool and full, as though you're breathing in the light of the moon itself. Each exhale is warm, a quiet surrender into the dark. The alchemist remains seated on the bench by the fountain, the lantern beside him now dimmer, its flame bowing low as though readying itself for sleep. The mortar rests covered, the herbs safe under linen, and the night has settled into a deeper hush, one where the smallest sounds seem closer, more intimate. He lets his gaze unfocused, looking not at the sky nor the garden, but somewhere in between. And slowly, the air takes on a silvery shimmer, almost as if moonlight were drifting loose from the stones themselves. It hangs there, thin and fine, curling upward like the steam from a warm cup. Perhaps it's a trick of the eyes, or perhaps, here in the deep of night, the garden is showing its hidden self. The rosemary glimmers faintly, tiny beads of dew catching light, as if they were stars scattered in miniature. The lemon balm seems to hum quietly, though whether the sound is in the air or in the alchemist's mind is impossible to tell. The lunaria, however, has changed. Its silver leaves seem almost translucent now, each one holding a pale light within, as though they are lit from their very core. When the breeze stirs them, the glow ripples, moving like water across their surface. The alchemist watches, his breathing as slow as the fountain's rhythm. He has seen this before, not often, but enough to know it is not a dream. It is the garden's way of saying that the work is complete, that the herbs have given what they can, and the night has blessed them. He stands and steps closer to the lunaria bed. The scent here is subtler than rosemary, less sharp than lemon balm, but it has a depth to it, a cool, sweet clarity that seems to clear the air between thoughts. When he reaches out and brushes a leaf, the glow beneath his fingers brightens, just for a heartbeat, then fades again. Far above, a star seems to fall, not fast, but in a long, graceful arc, leaving a trail like brushed silk in the sky. It passes over the keep and beyond, as if marking a path unseen. The alchemist takes a slow breath and closes his eyes. When he does, the sounds of the night become sharper. The steady drip of the fountain, the faint shifting of leaves, the low hum of the earth beneath the stones, and beneath all of that, something even softer, like the sound of distant footsteps on a moss path. It is not urgent, not loud, but rhythmic, unhurried, approaching. When he opens his eyes, he sees nothing beyond the garden walls, only the deep shadow of night. But the feeling remains, not as a warning, but as a welcome. Whatever is coming is part of the quiet, part of the story the night is telling. He returns to the bench and sits, folding his hands in his lap. The breeze passes again, this time cooler, carrying with it the faintest trace of lavender. The cloister pool must be catching the wind, sending its scent across the courtyard. The lantern's flame flickers once, twice, then steadies. Its light falls in a perfect circle around the bench, touching the fountain's edge, the mortar, and the alchemist's knees. Outside that circle, the shadows seem deeper, richer, as though they are holding back the rest of the world. You feel it too, that sense of being enclosed, held in a small, safe space, while the vast night turns quietly around you. There is no hurry here, only the slow unfolding of moments, one after the other, like petals opening in darkness. The alchemist leans back, and his eyelids grow heavier. If he closes them fully, perhaps he will see the garden again, but not as it dreams itself to be. And perhaps you will see it too. The first image comes softly, a path through the garden where none exists in daylight, winding between beds of glowing herbs. The fountain is still there, but its water is silver, flowing in slow ribbons that drift upward before falling again in the air. Faint motes of light float lazily, never hurrying, never fading. He walks this dream garden, each step soundless, his robe brushing against leaves that whisper as he passes. The lunaria turns its glowing faces toward him as if in greeting. Rosemary leans in slightly, and lemon balm sways, their scents richer now, wrapping him in calm. And here, even the moon feels closer. It's light, not cold, but warm, like the touch of a gentle hand on the brow. Yes, let us follow him deeper, into this dream garden, where every step feels lighter, slower, and perfectly at ease. Your breath stays gentle, each inhale drawing in cool, sweet air, each exhale releasing you further into stillness. The alchemist moves along the winding path, and though it is made of no stone you have seen, it feels solid beneath his feet, as though woven from the same silver light that falls from the moon. It curves softly through the beds of herbs, the leaves glowing faintly as he passes, their shapes shifting ever so slightly, like they are turning to watch him go. The fountain, here in the dream, is different. Its basin is deep and perfectly round, carved from a single piece of pale marble, veined with threads of gold. The water within does not ripple unless touched, and when a droplet falls, it spreads outward in circles of light rather than sound. Looking into it, one can see not only the moon above but flashes of other places, fields at dawn, cloisters in rain, and far-off towers crowned with banners. The alchemist kneels by the edge and trails his fingers over the surface. The silver water clings to his skin in tiny spheres, each one holding a fragment of starlight. When he lets them fall back, they make no splash. They simply rejoin the stillness, as though they had never been disturbed. A soft movement draws his attention, something gliding just beyond the far edge of the garden. It is not threatening, not hurried. A figure, perhaps, tall, robed, walking with the same slow certainty as he does. The figure's hood is pulled forward, hiding the face, but the lantern they carry glows with the same milky light as his own. They approach the fountain from the opposite side. There, steps soundless on the dream-path. When they stop, they lower their lantern, and its light ripples through the silver water, blending with the moon's glow until the entire basin is alight. The alchemist does not speak. Words would feel heavy here, out of place. Instead, he inclines his head slightly in greeting, and the figure returns the gesture. For a moment, they simply stand there, two keepers of the same quiet, joined by the shared rhythm of the night. Beyond them, the lunaria glows brighter, its leaves now almost translucent, the light within them shifting like the slow beat of a heart. The rosemary sways, and a faint chime, not a sound the waking world would recognize, rings through the air. It is delicate, crystalline, as though a droplet of moonlight has struck a bell made of ice. The figure moves away first, following another path that curves into the darker part of the garden. The alchemist watches them until they fade into shadow. Their lanterns glow, disappearing like a star slipping below the horizon. He remains by the fountain, gazing into the water. Now, the visions there grow clearer, not random glimpses, but moments threaded together. A warm afternoon, when the lemon balm first bloomed. A quiet winter's morning with snow resting on the cloister roof. The first time he saw the lunaria shimmer in moonlight. Each vision feels real enough to touch, yet they pass like ripples, fading into the silver surface again. He does not try to hold them, he simply lets them arrive and go, knowing that each is part of the whole. A breeze moves through the dream garden now, carrying a sound like pages turning. The alchemist closes his eyes, and you might do the same, feeling the air brush gently over your face. The scent of herbs deepening as it passes. It is as if the garden itself is breathing in and out, and your breath follows without thought. Somewhere in that rhythm, you notice the weight of your body, how it has grown heavier in the most comforting way. Your hands and feet loose and warm. Your shoulders no longer holding anything at all. The alchemist rises from the fountain and begins to walk again, this time toward the farthest edge of the garden. Here, the plants grow taller, their leaves arching overhead to form a kind of living canopy. Moonlight filters through in thin silver threads, striping the path. The air is cooler here, touched with the scent of night-blooming jasmine. A single wooden door waits at the end, its surface carved with spirals and vines. When he lays his hand upon it, the wood feels warm, as though it has been sitting in sunlight. He pauses, breathing in slowly, and then, yes, let's see where the dream door will take him. Your breath is calm now, slow and sure. Each inhale drawing in the cool silver of moonlight. Each exhale letting you melt further into the safety of this quiet world. The alchemist's palm rests against the carved wood for a moment longer. The spirals beneath his touch feel alive, not moving, but warm with the memory of growth, as if the tree they came from still remembers its seasons. He presses gently, and the door opens without a sound, swinging inward to reveal a path that slopes downward, as though inviting him into the earth itself. The air changes instantly cooler, thicker, carrying the faint mineral scent of stone. The lantern light glances off the walls, revealing them to be smooth and pale, as if shaped not by hands but by centuries of water flowing past. He steps inside, the sound of the garden fading behind him until it is no more than a distant echo. Here, the path is lined with tiny pools, each catching the light and sending it back in ripples that dance along the ceiling. The alchemist walks slowly, the soles of his shoes making the faintest sound against the damp floor. His own reflection appears and vanishes in the pools. As he passes, one moment clear, the next broken by a drifting circle of light. In the Middle Ages, there were tales of moonwells, hidden springs said to hold water touched only by moonlight. It was believed that to drink from one could bring a night of dreamless rest, or visions of great clarity. The alchemist thinks of these stories now, sensing that this place might be one of them, or at least something very like it. The tunnel opens into a chamber, wide and round, with a single pool at its center. Its water is perfectly still, so still it looks more like glass than liquid. The surface holds the reflection of the moon, even though no opening above could possibly let in the sky. He kneels at the edge, placing the lantern beside him, and leans over the water. The reflection of his own face is there now, but softer somehow, the lines smoothed, the eyes calmer. For a moment, it feels as though he is looking at a version of himself, not from now, but from some other time, perhaps one that has not yet come. He dips his hand into the pool. The water is cool, almost weightless, and when he lifts it, the droplets glow faintly before sliding away. He drinks, not in haste, but in a slow, measured swallow, and the coolness spreads through him, from his throat to his chest, then outward to every limb. It is a quiet, unlike any he has known, the kind that feels not empty, but full, as though the stillness itself is a kind of presence. He sits back, letting the feeling settle. Somewhere in the silence, he realizes that he can hear his own heartbeat, steady and unhurried. It matches the slow drip of water from the ceiling far above. Each sound a reminder of time moving gently forward. The lantern's light reflects in the pool, mingling with the moon's reflection until they are indistinguishable. It is impossible to tell where one ends and the other begins, and perhaps the alchemist thinks that is the point. He stays there a long while, though in this dream place, time does not press on him. When he finally stands, he feels lighter, as though the path back to the garden will be shorter than the way here, and indeed, it is just a few steps, and he finds himself once more before the wooden door. When he pushes it open, the garden greets him like an old friend, the air warmer, the scents richer. The lunaria still glows, the rosemary sways, and the fountain sings its endless song. The alchemist walks back to the bench, sits and sets the lantern at his side. His eyes lift to the moon again. But this time the light feels different, not just falling upon him, but somehow flowing from within him as well. The garden, the keep, the night, they are no longer things he is in, but things he is part of. And you, here in this shared quiet, may feel the same, that you are not outside this moment, watching, but inside it, breathing the same air, hearing the same fountain, feeling the same safe stillness. The breeze moves once more through the garden, carrying with it the lavender from the cloister dot. It settles over you like a soft blanket, and in its weight, you find only comfort. Yes, let's see where the dream door will take him. Your breath is calm now, slow and sure. Each inhale drawing in the cool silver of moonlight. Each exhale letting you melt further into the safety of this quiet world. The alchemist's palm rests against the carved wood for a moment longer. The spirals beneath his touch feel alive, not moving, but warm with the memory of growth, as if the tree they came from still remembers its seasons. He presses gently, and the door opens without a sound, swinging inward to reveal a path that slopes downward, as though inviting him into the earth itself. The air changes instantly cooler, thicker, carrying the faint mineral scent of stone. The lantern light glances off the walls, revealing them to be smooth and pale, as if shaped not by hands but by centuries of water flowing past. He steps inside, the sound of the garden fading behind him until it is no more than a distant echo. Here, the path is lined with tiny pools, each catching the light and sending it back in ripples that dance along the ceiling. The alchemist walks slowly, the soles of his shoes making the faintest sound against the damp floor. His own reflection appears and vanishes in the pools. As he passes, one moment clear, the next broken by a drifting circle of light. In the Middle Ages, there were tales of moonwells, hidden springs said to hold water touched only by moonlight. It was believed that to drink from one could bring a night of dreamless rest, or visions of great clarity. The alchemist thinks of these stories now, sensing that this place might be one of them, or at least something very like it. The tunnel opens into a chamber, wide and round, with a single pool at its center. Its water is perfectly still, so still it looks more like glass than liquid. The surface holds the reflection of the moon, even though no opening above could possibly let in the sky. He kneels at the edge, placing the lantern beside him, and leans over the water. The reflection of his own face is there now, but softer somehow, the lines smoothed, the eyes calmer. For a moment, it feels as though he is looking at a version of himself, not from now, but from some other time, perhaps one that has not yet come. He dips his hand into the pool. The water is cool, almost weightless, and when he lifts it, the droplets glow faintly before sliding away. He drinks, not in haste, but in a slow, measured swallow, and the coolness spreads through him, from his throat to his chest, then outward to every limb. It is a quiet unlike any he has known, the kind that feels not empty, but full, as though the stillness itself is a kind of presence. He sits back, letting the feeling settle. Somewhere in the silence, he realizes that he can hear his own heartbeat, steady and unhurried. It matches the slow drip of water from the ceiling far above. Each sound a reminder of time moving gently forward. The lantern's light reflects in the pool, mingling with the moon's reflection until they are indistinguishable. It is impossible to tell where one ends and the other begins, and perhaps the alchemist thinks that is the point. He stays there a long while, though in this dream place, time does not press on him. When he finally stands, he feels lighter, as though the path back to the garden will be shorter than the way here, and indeed, it is just a few steps, and he finds himself once more before the wooden door. When he pushes it open, the garden greets him like an old friend, the air warmer, the scents richer. The lunaria still glows, the rosemary sways, and the fountain sings its endless song. The alchemist walks back to the bench, sits, and sets the lantern at his side. His eyes lift to the moon again. But this time the light feels different, not just falling upon him, but somehow flowing from within him as well. The garden, the keep, the night, they are no longer things he is in, but things he is part of. And you, here in this shared quiet, may feel the same, that you are not outside this moment, watching, but inside it, breathing the same air, hearing the same fountain, feeling the same safe stillness. The breeze moves once more through the garden, carrying with it the lavender from the cloistered dot. It settles over you like a soft blanket, and in its weight, you find only comfort. Yes, let's follow him now, as the last threads of wakefulness dissolve. Your breath is even slow, each inhale carrying the cool sweetness of the night air, each exhale releasing you deeper into the embrace of this stillness. The alchemist remains on the bench by the fountain, his hands resting loosely in his lap. The lantern's flame is very low now, a golden ember swaying gently dot above. The moon has climbed to its highest point, and its light falls directly into the courtyard, bathing everything in a silver wash. The sound of the fountain changes not in volume, but in presence. It no longer feels like drops falling into water. It feels like words spoken in the softest language, a voice without edges, curling around him. Perhaps it is speaking to the lunaria, or to the stones of the keep, or to him, or perhaps, here in the deep of night, it is speaking to you. The garden seems to lean inward, the rosemary, the lemon balm, the lunaria, their leaves tilting, their shadows reaching ever so slightly toward the bench. It is not a closing in, but a gathering together, a circle forming, so that what is within it is fully protected. The alchemist's eyes close, and in that moment, the boundary between this world and the one of dreams loosens. He can still feel the bench beneath him, the cool air on his face, but he can also feel something else, a second place, overlapping the first, just beginning to take shape. It begins as light, not the light of the moon, nor of the lantern, but something softer, deeper, a light that seems to rise from the ground itself. It shimmers faintly between the herbs, moving like a slow tide across the garden floor. As it passes, the plants respond. The lunaria's glow intensifies, turning their silver leaves into pale lanterns that the rosemary hums in a tone just at the edge of hearing. The lemon balm sways in unison, as though guided by some hidden pulse. Then the light forms shapes not solid, not fixed, drifting silhouettes of things half remembered. A stag, antlers high, pauses between the lunaria beds. A white hair slips across the path, leaving no mark behind. High above, a bird with wings of faint gold circles once, twice, before disappearing into the dark. The alchemist stands now. Though in this dream-luminous place, his robe seems lighter, almost flowing of its own accord. He steps forward, and the plants part slightly to let him pass, their leaves brushing against his hands and arms. Each touch leaves a faint trace of coolness, like dew settling on the skin. The fountain's voice grows richer here. It is no longer just water. It is a blend of tones, as if many small bells were ringing far away, but in harmony. The sound feels like it could carry a person forward, not by pushing, but by drawing them along. And so he follows it, deeper into the heart of the garden. The path curves, and suddenly the space opens into a clearing he has never seen before. It is ringed with tall, pale trees whose trunks shimmer as though dusted with frost. Though the air is warm, in their branches, strands of light hang like silk, swaying in the invisible breeze. At the center of the clearing is another pool, not stone this time, but edged with soft moss and small white flowers. Its surface is perfectly still, yet in it he sees not his reflection, but a vision, the garden in all its seasons, cycling in slow, graceful motion, spring's new growth, summer's full bloom, autumn's fading colors, winter's quiet rest. The vision repeats, each turn a little slower, each shift of season blending more gently into the next. He kneels at the edge and places his hand in the water. It is warmer than he expects, and its surface ripples outward in perfect circles. When they touch the moss, the faintest spark of light runs through it, as if the pool is giving something back to the earth. Here the alchemist feels an ease beyond any he has known, not just the quiet of the night, but the quiet of knowing nothing more is needed. Nothing more is asked. The garden is whole, The work is done. The moon is keeping watch, and you may let yourself feel the same, that in this moment, there is nowhere to go, nothing to hold, nothing to do, only to rest, in the silver glow of the moonlit garden, with the soft hum of water and leaves cradling you into dreams. Yes, let the dream deepen, until time itself loosens its hold. Your breathing is smooth now, flowing without effort. Each inhale drawing in the scent of cool moss and moonlit water. Each exhale melting you further into the comfort of this stillness. The alchemist lingers by the moss-edged pool, his fingertips resting just at the surface. The warmth there feels alive. Not heat like fire, but a gentle, steady warmth that seems to match the rhythm of his heartbeat. In the reflection, the garden's cycle continues. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, each passing like a sigh. But the more he watches, the slower it turns, until the seasons dissolve into one another, becoming a single, endless moment of growth and rest combined. He closes his eyes, and the sound of the fountain from the outer garden fades. Here there is a new sound, faint, low, and constant, like the murmur of the sea far below, a cliff that rises and falls without hurry. A sound so steady it feels as though it has always been there, waiting to be heard. The air shifts, carrying with it the scent of flowers that are not in his waking garden. Sweetness without weight, as though the scent itself is made of light. It wraps around him, not clinging, but holding just enough for him to know it is there. When he opens his eyes, the clearing has changed. The pale trees are taller now, their branches higher, the strands of silk-light swaying more slowly. The moss is thicker under his knees, and tiny specks of light drift upward from it, disappearing into the air like breath on a cold morning in the pool's surface. He no longer sees the garden's seasons. Instead, he sees places he has never walked. A high meadow under a sky streaked with gold and rose. A stone bridge over a river so still it reflects the stars, as if they were anchored in its depths. A library lit only by the glow of candles, where the shelves stretch so far they vanish into shadow. The images do not rush past him. They come and linger, as though offering themselves to be kept if he chooses. But he does not reach for them. He lets them arrive and go, like the drift of clouds across the moon. A gentle movement stirs the water, not from him, but from something across the pool there. Standing at the opposite edge is the hooded figure he saw before in the dream garden. Same milky lantern light glows at their side, though here it seems brighter, as if strengthened by the pool's warmth. They raise one hand, slowly, palm outward. It is not a signal to stop or go. It is simply an acknowledgement, a sharing of presence. The alchemist mirrors the gesture, his palm open, his fingers still, for a heartbeat. It feels as though something invisible has joined their hands across the water. Then the figure lowers their arm, turns, and walks into the pale forest. Their lantern's glow moves between the trunks, softer and softer, until it is gone. The alchemist feels no need to follow. The clearing itself is enough. He cups his hands into the pool once more and drinks. This time, the warmth spreads further, reaching even his fingertips, the crown of his head, the soles of his feet. And with it comes a heaviness, not a burden, but the deep, welcome heaviness of rest arriving. He lies back on the moss, his head tilted, so that he can see the treetops dot between their swaying branches. The moon appears, larger now, closer, its light soft and round. As he watches, the edges blur, and the light becomes a haze that spills over the trees, the pool, the moss, until all is covered in silver. The hum of the hidden sea continues beneath it all, a sound without beginning or end, and perhaps you feel it too, in your breath, in your heartbeat, in the space between your thoughts, a rhythm that holds you, carries you, and asks nothing more from you but to stay. The alchemist closes his eyes, and the last thing he sees before the silver takes him is the faint glow of lunaria, leaves, swaying gently at the edge of the dream. Yes, let's drift with him, as the silver light carries him beyond even the bounds of his dream garden. Your breathing stays soft, steady, each inhale cool and luminous, as though you're drawing moonlight into your chest. Each exhale, warm and effortless, melting you further into the folds of night. The silver glow is everywhere now, not bright, not sharp, but vast and soft, like the inside of a seashell lit from within. There is no clear ground beneath the alchemist's feet, yet he stands. There is no wind, yet the air moves in slow, unseen currents, carrying with it a scent that is neither herb nor flower, but something older, something like the memory of rain on stone. Shapes begin to emerge in the silver, not solid, but suggested. A curve here, an arch there, as though the light itself is forming a place. Slowly, it becomes a hall, open and endless. Its walls made not of stone, but of woven brightness. The ceiling arches high above, but instead of beams or rafters, there are streams of light flowing, like rivers, crossing and recrossing in silence. The alchemist takes a step, and the sound beneath him is the faintest whisper, not the scrape of stone, not the crunch of leaves, but the sigh of something that has been waiting a long time to be touched. His robe moves with him in slow ripples, and the air here seems to shift in response, parting gently before him. Ahead, a table takes shape, long and low, made entirely of crystal clear water that somehow holds its form. Floating within it are small orbs of light, each one pulsing faintly, as though breathing. He leans closer, and in each orb, a scene unfolds, moments from his own life, and moments from lives not his own. A hand stirring herbs in a mortar, a child running through tall grass, a candle being lit in a dark chapel, a pair of swans gliding over a still lake. The orbs drift slowly, never colliding, never hurrying, and he realizes that this place holds more than his memories. It holds the echoes of countless moments, perhaps from every soul that has ever passed through sleep. He stands very still, not wishing to disturb them, and in that stillness, a sound rises low at first, then fuller. It is not music, not exactly, but a blend of tones that feel like the voice of the place itself. The notes come from nowhere and everywhere, wrapping around him the way the moonlight wraps the garden. The sound shifts slightly, and a path of light opens ahead of him, curving away into the woven walls. He follows without question, his steps matching the rhythm of the tones. The walls seem to breathe as he passes, expanding, contracting as though each thread of light is alive. The path leads him to an open circle, where the floor is covered in water, no deeper than a hand's breadth. The surface is mirror still, reflecting the light above until it feels as though he is walking in the sky. In the center of the circle, a single chair waits, simple, wooden, yet glowing faintly, as if touched by dawn. The alchemist steps into the water and walks toward it. Each step sends ripples outward, distorting the reflected streams of light. But they always return to stillness as soon as he passes. When he reaches the chair, he lowers himself into it, feeling its warmth seep through him as if it had been waiting just for him. The tones in the air grow softer now, their volume falling but their depth deepening, until they seem to vibrate within his bones. His hands rest on the arms of the chair, his breathing matching the invisible pulse of the place. There is nothing to do, nothing to change, nothing to hold, only to be here, with the light, the sound, the slow heartbeat of the realm around him. His eyes close, and behind his lids the silver glow continues. It has no edge, no center, no need for shape. It simply is, and he is part of it, and perhaps you, to feel yourself as part of it now. Not outside, not watching, but inside the silver, inside the stillness, inside the unbroken quiet where time does not pass. Yes, let us linger here, where silver light begins to weave what is dreaming and what is waking into one seamless whole. Your breath, gentle, steady. Each inhale like drawing in the hush of moonlit water. Each exhale a deeper surrender into the warmth of this moment. The alchemist sits in the chair of pale wood, its surface smooth beneath his palms. The silver light swells around him, no longer something he sees from the outside, but something that seems to rise from within his own chest, flowing outward. He cannot tell where the glow ends and where he begins. A slow ripple moves through the air, not sound, Not wind, but something felt deep in the bones. It moves across the silver floor, through the woven walls of light, and out into whatever lies beyond. The chair responds, ever so faintly, rocking in the smallest arc, as though cradling him. From somewhere above, a shape descends, a thread of light unspooling from the rivers that form the ceiling. It drifts down without hurry, twisting lazily until it reaches him. When it touches his shoulder, it is warm, not heat, but presence. And then, as though pulled by some gentle tide, the thread begins to sink into him, disappearing beneath his robe, becoming part of him without resistance. There is no pain, no surprise, only a quiet knowing that this thread was always his. It had simply been waiting for the right moment to return. When it is gone, he notices a change. The silver light around him has deepened, grown richer in tone, as though a faint layer of gold now runs beneath it. He looks to his hands, and they seem the same. Yet, when he raises one, it leaves behind a faint shimmer in the air, like the trail of a moth's wing. From the woven walls, more threads begin to loosen. Some drift toward him, settling on his shoulders, his knees, his brow. Each one is absorbed, and each one brings with it a sense of recognition, flashes of moments, not from this night, but from years past. He remembers the first fire he ever lit in the keep's hearth, the crackle of fresh wood catching flame. He remembers a summer rain that filled the cloister pool so high it spilled over into the garden. He remembers the face of a friend long gone, smiling in the amber glow of candlelight. The threads bring not just memory, but the weightless warmth of being inside those moments again. And yet, he feels no longing, no ache, only the deep ease of knowing they still live within him. The tones in the air shift again, forming a slow, spiraling melody. It rises and falls like the breath of the place itself, and as it moves, the chair turns slightly, so that he faces a new opening in the woven light. Beyond it, the silver fades into darkness, not empty, not cold, but vast, like the deep night sky with no horizon dot. The alchemist steps from the chair into the shallow water. His reflection follows him, but now it seems lighter, as though some of the weight it once carried has been set down. He walks toward the opening, each step sending rings across the mirrored floor. When he reaches the threshold, he hesitates only for a breath before stepping through. The darkness swallows the silver, yet it does not feel like losing it. It feels instead like the silver has dissolved into this deeper quiet, becoming something unseen, but still surrounding him. Here, there are no shapes, no paths, no walls, only the sense of floating in the heart of night itself. And from somewhere in that boundless space, tiny points of light begin to appear. Not stars exactly, but fragments, bits of memory, moments, pieces of dreams yet to come. They drift around him slowly, each one giving off a faint pulse as it passes. One glows faint green, the color of lunaria, leaves under moonlight. Another is warm amber, like firelight on polished wood. A third is pale gold, like the first rays of dawn touching the garden wall. The alchemist reaches toward one of them, not to take it, but simply to feel it pass over his palm. It is cool at first, then warm, and then gone, drifting onward. He realizes he could follow any of them, let one lead him deeper. But, for now, it is enough to stand in the middle of them, surrounded by their slow dance. And perhaps you, too, feel surrounded by your own small lights, the glimmers of moments you have loved, or have yet to find, all of them drifting close enough to see, yet far enough to remain free. The alchemist closes his eyes. Even here, with the darkness and the drifting lights, he can feel the garden's presence, the scent of rosemary, the trickle of the fountain, the silver leaves swaying in the breeze. The dream and the waking place have become the same, their edges gone. He breathes in, and the darkness breathes with him. Yes, let's let him merge with the night itself, until he is no longer simply in this dream, but of it. Your breath remains unhurried. Inhale, feeling the cool darkness filling you with ease. Exhale, letting that darkness soften into something warm, like velvet wrapping around your thoughts. The alchemist stands among the drifting points of light, each one moving as if carried by a tide too slow to see. There is no weight here, no pull of the earth beneath his feet, only the gentle sensation of floating in a space without borders. One of the lights comes closer, a soft silver one, smaller than the rest. It hovers before him, pulsing faintly, and for a moment, he feels the quiet joy of a summer night. When the air was thick with the hum of bees and the rosemary was heavy with scent, it lingers, sharing this memory, not as a thought but as a feeling, and then it drifts away, leaving the warmth of that moment behind. Another light, this one, a deep blue, drifts past his shoulder. As it passes, he feels the calm of standing in the cloister during a gentle rain, the sound of drops on the stone, the scent of lavender rising from the soaked earth. No image, no vision, just a texture of the moment. So real, it is as though he is there again. He begins to realize that each light is not just a fragment of his own life, but a shared thread, something held by many before him. The warmth of firelight that countless others have known. The cool weight of a clay cup in the hands. The steady comfort of a voice speaking low in the dark. The points of light grow more numerous now, their pulses slowing until they all seem to move to the same rhythm. The rhythm matches his breath, matches the faint hum he feels through his feet, or perhaps through the air around him. And then, something changes. The lights begin to rise, lifting upward into the boundless dark. One by one, they drift higher, until the space above him glows like a soft, endless sky. It is not bright, no harshness here, but full, like a ceiling of stars seen through half-closed eyes. The alchemist feels himself rising to dot, not walking, not stepping, just being carried upward, as if the night has decided to bring him closer to its heart. The darkness deepens around him, yet it feels more familiar with each moment, as though he is returning somewhere he has always belonged. As he rises, the silver of the dream garden threads itself back into the space. He sees it below now, the lunaria, glowing in the moonlight, the fountain's ripples like rings of light, expanding endlessly outward. The garden looks smaller from here, but not distant, more like it has become part of him, living now in the quiet space behind his eyes. The higher he drifts, the more the boundary between his body and the night begins to dissolve. The weight of his robe fades, the feel of his hands, his feet, his face, all becoming lighter, less distinct. It is not loss, it is expansion, the slow and gentle knowing that he is not separate from this place, but woven into it. Soon he cannot tell if he is moving through the night, or if the night is moving through him. The stars, if that is what they are, pass both within and beyond his sight. The hum of the place has grown steady now, a tone without end, a sound that feels like both a beginning and a completion. And then, there is only stillness, no sense of rising or falling, no sense of here or there, only the feeling of being held perfectly, completely, by something vast and kind. The alchemist no longer wonders if he will wake, or if he will dream further. Both feel the same now. The garden is here, the keep is here, the moonlight, the fountain, the herbs, all here, folded gently into the same endless night. And perhaps you, too, can feel that now. The way your breath has matched the breath of the space around you. The way the quiet here is not empty, but full. The way it holds you without asking you to do anything in return. You are part of this stillness, and it is part of you. Yes, let us move together into that final, deepest layer of rest, where even the smallest edges of thought dissolve. Your breathing, soft, steady, each inhale like drawing in a gentle tide, each exhale like releasing it back into the quiet sea. The alchemist, though now it is hard to call him separate from the night, feels himself becoming lighter still. His awareness is no longer bound to the shape of a body, yet it remains a presence, a listening, a quiet pulse within the vast dark. The soft hum that has followed him all this way begins to change. It stretches and deepens, revealing tones beneath tones, like a chord that has been playing forever, unnoticed until now. Each layer carries with it a sensation, a warmth across the skin, a coolness in the chest, a loosening at the crown of the head. They come together until he cannot tell which belongs to him and which belongs to the night itself. Somewhere within this great sound, a new texture appears. It is not a voice, not words, but the unmistakable sense of being welcomed. It is the same feeling he has known when walking into his garden at dawn, when the plants seem to lean toward him in quiet recognition. The night here does the same. Not calling, not claiming, simply letting him know that he is part of it. In the space around him, the drifting lights from before begin to move again. But now, they no longer hold the shapes of memories or moments. They are pure, gentle sparks, pieces of light without story, without name. They swirl slowly, and as they pass close, each one leaves a trail that lingers before fading into the whole. One brushes against what remains of his shoulder, and for an instant, a warmth spreads outward, filling every part of him with a sensation that is both joy and peace. Another drifts through where his hands would be, leaving behind a cool clarity, as though a stream had passed through his thoughts. More come, until he is surrounded, until their movements form a kind of slow dance around him. There is no pattern he can follow, yet somehow it feels as though they are moving exactly as they must. And with each pass, each touch, he feels himself loosening further, not falling apart, but blending more deeply with the whole dot in time. Though time has lost its meaning here, the sparks begin to settle. They drift downward, sinking into the dark below, until only a few remain, glimmering faintly like lanterns, far away. The hum softens with them, becoming a low, steady tone that feels like the heartbeat of the night. The alchemist lets himself sink with the last of the lights. There is no resistance, no need to hold himself above or apart. The darkness is warm here, the way the soil is warm when turned in spring. It closes gently around him, and in doing so, it becomes impossible to tell where he ends and where it begins. He realizes now that the garden, the keep, the fountain, the cloister, they are not places apart from this. They are simply the forms. This stillness wears when the sun is up and the eyes are open. The lunaria leaves glowing in the moonlight, the rosemary swaying in the breeze, the sound of water falling into stone. They are all the night's way of speaking. And now, he is one of its voices. Not loud, not constant, just a quiet presence. Part of the slow turning of seasons, part of the endless breathing of the world. If you listen closely, you may feel it too. That you are not separate from the quiet you hear now. That it is not something you have entered, but something you have always been in. The alchemist rests. The night rests. You rest. All held together in the same, unbroken stillness. And here, there is nothing more to do, only to remain, floating, breathing, becoming, until even the word rest fades away, and only the feeling remains. Yes, let us let this final layer unfold slowly, like the last ember in a hearth, dimming into a soft, steady glow. Your breathing, still calm, still deep, each inhale drawing the quiet further inward, each exhale letting it spread through every corner of you. The alchemist, though now he is less a figure and more a shape within the night, feels the last of the drifting lights settle completely. They have sunk into the warm darkness, disappearing from sight but not from presence. Their glow lingers here in a way that cannot be seen, only felt, a steady warmth that hums quietly beneath everything. There is no separation now between the garden and the vast, open dark. The lunarious silver leaves sway somewhere within him. The fountain's water still falls, but the sound is part of his breath. The scent of rosemary and lemon balm no longer comes to him from the air. It is the air, and he is breathing it endlessly. The night holds him without weight, without boundary. There is no sense of I, and this place, only the knowing that he is this place. He is the still pool in the cloister, the curve of the ivy along the wall, the cool stone beneath a tired hand. He is the moonlight itself, touching everything without hurry, without expectation, somewhere far away, or perhaps not far at all. The faint sound of a bell carries through the dark. It is slow, deep, and unhurried. Each toll spreads outward in waves, not disturbing the stillness, but folding into it, like a pebble dropped into a quiet pond. The sound fades into the hum of the night, and the hum continues as though it has been here forever. A sense of completion settles. There is nothing more to seek, no door to pass through, no path to follow, no task to finish. Everything is already here. Everything is already whole. In this knowing, the alchemist, the night you all seem to sink even deeper into rest. It is a depth that feels endless, yet never lonely. A place where the mind does not wander and the body does not stir. Where time itself curls into a warm, small space and sleeps beside you. The quiet here is perfect. It does not press on you or demand you notice it. It simply exists, like a blanket laid gently across your shoulders. And with every breath you take, it becomes more a part of you, until you cannot tell if you are breathing it in or it is breathing you. Your body grows heavier now. Your thoughts slower. Each blink of the mind's eye is longer, softer, until they are no longer blinks at all, but long stretches of stillness. And when the last of your awareness curls into this place, when even the sound of your own breathing becomes part of the great, steady breath of the night, you find yourself held perfectly, endlessly, in the same gentle cradle that holds the alchemist, the garden, the moon, and all the quiet things that live in the spaces between moments. Here, there is no ending, only the deep, uninterrupted rest that waits beneath every dream. And so, you sleep. Then, let us simply stay here, not moving forward, not looking back, just resting inside the stillness that is gathered around us. Your breathing is almost imperceptible now, soft, slow, steady, as though you have matched the very breath of the night. The quiet here is no longer something outside of you. It is you. Every part of you rests in harmony with it, your body loose and warm, your thoughts floating weightless. The alchemist is here too, though not as he began. He is not separate from the night or the garden or the moonlight. He is woven through them all, as much a part of the courtyard walls as the ivy, as much a part of the air as the scent of rosemary. When the lunarius leaves sway, he sways. When the fountain's water falls, it falls through him. Above the moon holds its place, a perfect silver circle in the sky. It no longer seems far away, but close enough to touch, not as an object, but as a presence, a gentle light that touches every leaf, every stone, every dream. Its glow does not fade or change. It simply is, like the steady pulse of the world. Somewhere in the far distance, the faintest breeze begins to move. It is slow, tender, carrying no chill, no urgency. It drifts through the garden, over the fountain, across the lunaria beds, and into the cloister beyond. It touches the stone walls of the keep and moves on, wrapping all in its path in the same quiet it carries. The breeze reaches you, and you feel it in the soft shift of your breath, the way your chest rises a little fuller, the way your exhale drifts a little slower. It is a rhythm you could follow forever, without effort. And here, there is no reason to leave it. The world outside this place, the hours, the days, the noise, they are distant, like faint shadows. They cannot touch the edges of this light. Only this moment remains, unbroken, unworried, whole. If thoughts come, they pass without touching you. If images rise, they soften before they can take shape. Everything here exists only long enough to drift by, like petals floating on still water. Moving with the faintest of currents, you are safe here. You are held here, and you can remain here as long as you wish, letting the night's hum carry you, letting the garden's breath steady you, letting the moon's light keep you warm. Now, even the sense of being you softens, not disappearing, but resting. And in that rest, there is no separation between dream and sleep. There is only the deep, unbroken quiet that welcomes you without condition. And so, in the moonlit garden that is both outside you and within you, you sleep, deeply, completely, peacefully, peacefully, asterisk. Then let us linger just a little longer, not to add more story, but to let the stillness deepen until it feels like the very fabric of your being. The garden is no longer just a place in the mind. It is the rhythm of your breath, the warmth in your chest, the space between each heartbeat. Alchemist is here too, not as a figure you can see, but as a presence you can sense, calm, watchful, endlessly patient. The moon above never shifts, never fades. It hangs in the sky like a guardian lantern, casting a silver glow that never wavers. Every leaf, every stone, every petal is softened beneath it, their edges dissolving into the night. The fountain's voice has grown quieter, not because it has stopped, but because you are part of it now. Its steady fall into the basin is the same rhythm that carries your breath in and out. There is no difference between the two. Somewhere beyond the walls of the keep, the world continues, but here, within this circle of light and quiet, time has no hold. The minutes do not pass, they rest, folded into the same stillness that holds you. If you listen, not with your ears, but with the part of you that feels, you can sense the night breathing, the whole sky expanding gently and settling back, the earth beneath you exhaling in the slow language of stone, and you breathe with it. No effort, no thought, just the rise and fall. The ebb and flow. The garden needs nothing from you. The night asks nothing of you, and the moon will keep its watch long after you have drifted into the deepest sleep. So let go completely. Sink into the soft dark, the silver light, the hum of water and leaf and sky. Let the stillness close around you like the gentlest of blankets. And there, in that place where dream and rest become the same, you sleep, that you will remain here, held, until the morning chooses to arrive. Yes, let us stay in this space, letting the quiet settle even further, until it feels like the only thing in the world. The air is still now, perfectly still, as though the entire garden is holding its breath with you, not in suspense, but in a shared understanding that this is the moment for complete rest. Somewhere far off, the faintest shimmer of sound moves through the night. It is not quite a bell, not quite a chime, just a soft, rounded tone that seems to dissolve as soon as it reaches you. It does not disturb. It blends into the hum that has been here all along, the hum that you have slowly joined without even noticing. The lunaria's silver leaves stand motionless, glowing softly, as if they too have entered this deeper sleep. The rosemary is still, its scent faint but steady, rising only when the air chooses to carry it. The fountain continues its slow song, but you no longer hear it as separate. It is the same song your body sings now, a melody made of breath and stillness. There is no separation between you and this place anymore. You are the stone bench, warm from the touch of the moonlight dot. You are the shadow that curves gently across the garden path. You are the cool surface of the cloister's pool, reflecting a perfect silver disk in the sky. Even the idea of time has loosened completely. There is no before, no after, just this single, unbroken moment, stretching in all directions. It holds you like water holds a leaf, perfectly suspended. Your thoughts, if they appear at all, arrive soft-edged and slow-moving, like petals drifting on the surface of still water. They pass without sound, without weight. You don't need to follow them. You don't even need to notice when they fade. The night is not watching you, it is with you. The moon does not shine on you, it shines through you. The garden is not a place you've entered, it is the shape your rest has taken tonight. And in this shape, you will remain, breathing with the fountain, glowing with the lunaria, rooted in the same peace as the rosemary and the stone. You are home, and you are asleep, deep, complete, unbroken. Yes, let us remain here, where the night has gathered around you like a second skin, where nothing is expected, and nothing can disturb the stillness you now carry. The garden is quiet beyond quiet, a quiet so deep it is no longer something you hear, but something you are. It is in your chest, in the slow rhythm of your breathing. It is in your hands, loose and resting. It is in the space behind your closed eyes, soft and endless. The alchemist is no longer apart from you. He is the same stillness, the same breath, the same quiet presence that moves without moving. If you were to imagine his face now, it would be lit only by the glow of the lunaria.com, timeless, almost part of the light itself. Above, the moon has not shifted. It remains in its perfect place, keeping watch not as a sentinel, but as a friend who will not leave until morning. Its glow is steady, and in that steadiness, you feel your own thoughts grow steadier still, softening until they are no more than faint ripples in a vast silver sea. The fountain's trickle is still here too, but now it sounds like your own breath inhaling, exhaling, as though the water is breathing alongside you. Every drop that falls feels like another moment of rest, another layer of calm settling over you. You realize there is no need to try to sleep here. Sleep is already happening. The way night happens, the way the moon rises, the way the lunaria opens its leaves to drink the light dot. It is not something you must chase. It is something that simply is. And so you let go, completely. You let go of the sense of your body, of where you begin and end. You let go of thoughts, of sounds, of the faint memory of the day. Everything falls away, and what is left is perfect, weightless stillness. The garden, the alchemist, the moon, the night, they are all here, and they are all you. You are held without holding. You are protected without walls. You are resting without even the thought of rest. And here, you will remain, asleep, peaceful, carried by the same unbroken quiet that holds the whole night in its hands. Yes, let us drift these last few steps, deeper into the heart of rest. Nothing pulls at you now. Nothing calls you back. The garden has become as infinite as the night, and you are at its center, weightless and still. The air is warm enough to comfort, cool enough to refresh, as though it knows exactly what you need. The moon above is steady, not climbing, not falling, fixed in the perfect place to pour its silver glow upon the courtyard. That light covers the lunaria leaves, the rosemary, stalks, the stone of the fountain, and it covers you, wrapping you in its soft, shimmering warmth. There is no sound here. That does not belong. The fountain's water falls in the same rhythm as your breath. The faintest movement of air brushes against your skin, like a hand smoothing a blanket. If there is a world beyond the walls, it cannot enter this space here. Nothing disturbs, nothing intrudes. Your body has grown so heavy in its comfort that it feels as though the bench beneath you has risen up to hold you completely. Every muscle has released, every thought has slowed into long, quiet shapes that dissolve before they can be named. The alchemist, who was once tending herbs and mixing water under moonlight, is now nothing more and nothing less than the peace you feel in this moment. He is part of the night, part of the garden, part of you. His work is complete, and so is yours. You are simply here, not passing through, not waiting for anything to change. The night is endless, the quiet unbroken, the safety absolute. And as you breathe, you drift, you sink, you sleep. The garden watches over you. The moon keeps its place. The night holds its gentle cradle. Until the morning, you will remain. Yes, let's let the quiet become absolute now. No movement, no need to reach for anything beyond this moment. The night has closed gently around you, not as a wall, but as a warm, infinite space. The garden is no longer out. There, it is inside you. Every breath carries the scent of rosemary and lemon balm. Every slow beat of your heart is matched by the steady fall of the fountain's water. The lunaria leaves glow softly, their silver light not just touching your skin, but soaking into you. You are illuminated from within, not brightly, but with a calm, steady radiance that feels like safety itself. Above, the moon holds its place. It is not watching, not guarding, but being with you, like an old friend sitting quietly nearby. Its light stretches across the courtyard stones, pools on the cloister path, rests on the surface of the water, and finally settles over you, a silver blanket woven from nothing but peace. There is no sound here to measure time. The fountain's song does not count moments, it erases them. The faint breeze does not come and go. It simply is, the way your breath simply is. Every part of your body has yielded to the stillness. Your legs are heavy and warm. Your hands are loose and quiet. Your face is smooth, every tiny tension melting away under the moon's touch. Thoughts are no longer arriving. If they do, they are like feathers landing on water. They float for a breath, then vanish without a trace. The mind has nothing left to do but rest, and so you rest, deeper now than before. The alchemist's work is finished. The garden's night is endless, and the moon's light will hold steady until you wake, whenever that may be. You are safe, you are still, you are asleep. Yes, let's remain here a little longer, not adding more shape, not stirring the stillness, only letting it deepen. As a pool grows darker and calmer when the wind rests, the garden is whole now. The moonlight has reached every corner, silvering every stone and leaf. The rosemary stands tall, still fragrant in the cool night air. The lunarious glow is soft but steady, as if it will never fade. The fountain's water continues to fall, each drop a slow heartbeat in the quiet. You feel it inside you, the rhythm no longer separate from your own. Inhale with the waters rise, exhale with the waters fall. Every part of you is loose, heavy, and safe. Your body no longer asks to move. Your mind no longer asks to think. The warmth in your chest is the same warmth that lives in the cloister's stones, held from the sun's last touch. You are no longer just in the garden. You are the garden. You are the scent of lemon balm in the breeze. You are the cool stone bench in the moonlight. You are the ripples spreading slowly across the fountain's surface. Nothing is outside of you here. Nothing is apart from you here, and here. There is no end to the stillness. The night does not pass, it simply is. You do not drift away from it. You settle deeper into it, and in that depth, you sleep completely, peacefully, endlessly. Asterisk, yes. Let us let the stillness close completely. Now, not a door shutting, but a blanket settling. Not an ending, but a continuation that stretches into the deepest part of the night. The garden has reached its perfect quiet. Nothing stirs now but the slow movement of air, too gentle to be called a breeze, too soft to bend even the thinnest stalk of rosemary. The moonlight no longer feels like it is falling from above. It feels as though it is rising from the stones, from the plants, from you. The fountain's sound is so steady that it becomes part of the silence, a single thread woven into the fabric of the night. You cannot tell if you hear it, or simply know it is there in the same way. You cannot tell if you are breathing the garden, or if the garden is breathing you. Your body is entirely still now, not from effort, but from ease. It rests the way the cloister pool rests, undisturbed, reflecting only the light it chooses to hold. Your mind is as smooth and open as the courtyard, stones under moonlight, with nothing left to cling to. The alchemist is no longer a figure in your sight, but a part of this shared presence, his rest and yours indistinguishable. He is in the lunaria's glow, in the scent of the herbs, in the patience of the stone walls that have seen countless nights like this. There is no time here, only the steady, unbroken now. And now that is wide enough, deep enough, quiet enough to hold you completely. And in this now, you sleep, deeply, uninterrupted, carried by the night, the garden, and the moonlight that will never fade. Yes, and now there is nothing left to do but remain. The night has become the whole of you. No edge, no boundary, no sense of where you end and where the garden begins. Your breath is the same breath that moves through the lunaria leaves. Your heartbeat is the same rhythm that guides the fountain's slow and endless fall. The air is warmer now, but not from the sun. It is the warmth of complete stillness, the body at peace, dead every muscle. Every thought has loosened. Even the smallest pieces of you that might have been holding on have let go, dissolving into the quiet above. The moon shines without effort. It is not here to mark time, or to watch, or to guide. It is simply here, as you are. Its glow is steady, and that steadiness fills you, so that even in dreams, you will carry it. There is no before this moment. There is no after. There is only the depth of now. And you are sinking into it as a stone sinks into still water, slowly, silently, with no ripple to disturb the surface. The alchemist is here too, but no longer as someone to see. He is in the way the air holds the scent of herbs. He is in the way the stones hold the night's cool touch. He is in the way you rest, without question, without fear. without the thought of waking, and you will remain here, not because you must, but because there is nowhere else, nowhere better, nothing more complete than this. The moon, the garden, the fountain, the air, all are one, and you are part of them, always have been, always will be, and now you sleep. And so we remain in the gentle cradle of night, allowing the stillness to settle even more deeply, like fine dust of moonlight drifting down through quiet air. Feel the ease in your shoulders, the softness at your brow, the warmth in your chest that spreads on each slow exhale. Notice how the body is so perfectly supported that nothing inside you needs to hold itself up. You're carried by stone, by air, by the low hush of water that has forgotten how to hurry. Our story continues, my dear sleeper, but it does not ask you to follow. It moves around you the way the night moves around the keep, slow and circular, content to take its time. If your thoughts want to drift, let them drift. If the mind wants to rest on a single sound, the soft trickle of the fountain, the faintest hush of leaves, you can rest there, like a bird returning to a familiar perch in the world beyond these walls. There were once watchmen who called the hours so travelers would know the night was safe. In some towns, they sang the hour at midnight, then at 1, then at 2, with words that changed as the sky darkened and cooled. Imagine, if you like, a distant voice murmuring the hours, not to rouse you, but to soothe you. Another voice of the night, a reminder that time is being looked after while you sleep. You needn't keep it. It will keep itself. The lunaria's silver discs are very still. They were called honesty in later centuries, because the seed pods revealed themselves plainly when the husk slips away. Tonight they reveal something else, not seeds, not secrets, only peace. Their glow is the gentlest kind, too soft to wake, just bright enough to ease. When the air moves, it moves through them like a hush passing across a choir. Breathe in the cool, herb-sweet air. Breathe out, and let the body grow heavier, as though each bone remembers the perfect shape of rest. In monastic gardens, physic gardens, herbs were planted, not in tangle, but in order. Beds edged in boxwood, paths of crushed shell, that side underfoot, a fountain or well at the center to remind the heart to move slowly. This courtyard carries that same kindness. Everything is placed where it can be reached without strain. Everything is close enough to touch, and yet nothing asks to be touched. Even the mortar waits with patience that feels older than the walls. If the mind wants something delicate to hold, it can hold the image of horn-paneled lanterns, the kind medieval watchmen carried on windy bridges. Horn, not glass, gave the flame a milky veil, turning the light into soft buttered gold. Let your thoughts be that light, protected, gentle, swaying with your breath. The alchemist, the part of you that tends the night with caresses in perfect ease. His hands have set down their work. The robe pools like a shadow poured upon the bench. If he dreams, it is only of quiet things. Dew on rosemary needles, the way beeswax softens under warm palms. The almost silent scratch of a quill across vellum in a room that smells of parchment and rain. You don't need to go there, unless you wish. The dreams will come to you in their own unhurried language. Perhaps the mind enjoys numbers that melt like snow on the tongue. We can count in a way that deepens, not measures, from 10, as if each number is a step down into moss. 9. The body loosens. The brow cools. 8. The jaw softens. The tongue rests heavy and free. 7. The shoulders drift. The heart's beat, unbothered, slow. 6. The belly is quiet. The breath effortless. 5. Each limb is warm and pleasantly weighted. 4. The garden seems to breathe with you. 3. The fountain's voice and your breath are the same. 2. The moon widens into a silver hush. 1. And there is only the gentle, endless now. If a thought arrives, let it step into the silver and become a ripple that grows wider and quieter until it's only smooth water once more. If a feeling touches the skin, let it pass like a moth's wing, the briefest brush, then nothing at all. If a sound leans near, imagine it traveling the cloister, softened by arches, return to you with the edges rounded off. the way wind returns from far corners, having forgotten its hurry. You may notice your breath has found a soft pattern of its own, a natural 4 on the inhale, a kind 6 on the exhale, longer out than in, like a tide that prefers the resting part of its journey. There is no counting to do. The body does it for you. Ancient bellringers learned the pace of rope and bronze until striking a note needed no thought. In the same way, your lungs ring their quiet note, no effort, no decision, only the rightness of the sound. The night is unbroken, yet if we changed our listening, we might hear small kindnesses hidden inside it. A beetle ticking softly in the ivy, a thin trickle inside the stone where the fountain feeds the basin, a loosened petal skating the pool before it settles against the edge. Nothing is sharp, nothing insists, everything invites. If the skin craves a blanket, the moon provides one. The light gathers on your chest like a shawl of silk, light as breath, warm as presence. If the mind asks for a word, give it a single, simple one. Restand. Let that word grow larger at each exhale until it fills the space behind your closed eyes, until it fades into something wordless and kind. The alchemist stirs in the mildest, way less movement than intention, only to make sure the linen covers the mortar, just as you might nudge a coverlet to keep your toes warm. The twine lies slack, patient. The tincture sleeps as you sleep, becoming itself by the slow alchemy of time and quiet. Morning can do the straining. Night is for steeping. Perhaps you'd like a picture of distant safety, as medieval travelers did a little roadside shrine, with a beeswax taper left to mark safe passage. Imagine such a candle somewhere beyond these walls, its flame steady, its honeyed scent so faint it's nothing more than comfort turned into air. That candle is not for lighting your way. It is for keeping watch in case you forget that you are already watched over. Breathe in the silver hush. Breathe out. The whole garden exhales with you. Somewhere, a far roof sighs as it releases the day's warmth. Somewhere, a shutter turns on its leather thong and rests again. Somewhere, an owl bows into silence, as if even flight has learned to float. Your body is a cloister now. Stone embraces air. Air cradles light. Light gathers in smooth pools on the floor. In such places, the hours passed with gentle names: lauds, prime, compliment each, an invitation, never a command. The hour here has no name, because naming would wake it. We know what it is by the way your breath goes on uncounted, and the way your fingers have forgotten how to hold. If you wish, you can imagine the softest rain beginning beyond the walls, too fine to ring on stone, just enough to lay the garden's curls of scent closer to the ground. Rosemary grows sweeter under rain. Lemon balm brightens. The lunaria is a library of silver pages, turned by invisible hands. There is nothing to read, because everything worth reading has already moved into the body and taken a bed there. And now, let the last wakeful patterns loosen, as laces are loosened before bed, as a belt is slipped free, as a key is turned once and left in the lock until morning. Down and down and down, not falling but settling. Wheat in a bin, snow in a drift, feathers in a quiet room after the door has been gently closed. 10, and the chest is warm. 9, the mouth and throat are smooth and open. 8, the eyes are quiet under their lids, looking at silver without needing to see it. 7, the back is supported everywhere. 6, the legs are calm rivers, untroubled. 5, the hands are boats pulled to shore, their ropes slack on the posts, for the garden's breath and your breath braid into one soft rope. 3, the moon lays a palm on your brow. 2, the fountain sleeps while flowing. 1, you are the stillness itself. If the morning were to be imagined and only imagined, it would be far away, like a pale cloth folded on a shelf, waiting. It doesn't lean toward you. It lets you have the whole of the night. And in that generosity, your dreams grow unhurried and kind. They move like the lantern light of a watchman crossing a bridge, not to rouse, but to reassure. You are safe, and safe again, and safe again. Your breath is slow, and slower still. The garden is whole. The alchemist's moonlit work is complete. The keep is a body, asleep, around a sleeping heart. And at the very center, you warm, quiet, unburdened. Go on sleeping. Rest here. Remain here. Be held here. Sleep. Yes, we stay. The night is endless now. Not as a long road, but as a single, perfect space with no walls, no door, no end. It wraps around you like water in a still pool, supporting, cooling, carrying without the faintest ripple. The moon is steady, its glow the same with each passing breath. It falls over the lunaria leaves so gently that they seem not lit from without, but shining from within. The silver light has no edges here. It finds you, fills you, softens you. The fountain speaks in the same language it has all night, quiet, unbroken syllables that feel older than stone. You no longer hear them with your ears. They come through the body instead, moving down your spine, through your chest, into the warm, slow heart that rests without work. Every limb has surrendered. Your legs are long, heavy roots in the cool soil. Your hands are open, as if they have forgotten there was ever anything to hold. Your head is cradled, as though the very air has learned how to be a pillow. The alchemist is gone now, not vanished, but joined to the stillness. The way light becomes part of shadow when they meet. He is in the breath you take, in the warmth along your ribs, in the weightlessness between each inhale and exhale. He is the night, and the night is you. If there is movement at all, it is the kind too slow to name, moonlight shifting by a hair's width, the water's surface smoothing after the faintest breath of wind. No urgency, no arrival, no leaving, and in this space, sleep is not a thing. You do it as simply what happens. It happens like the turning of seasons, like the blooming of rosemary, like the opening of lunaria leaves to moonlight. Without decision, without thought, you are gone, and you are here. You are dreaming, and you are resting. You are the garden, the moon, the breath of the fountain. Safe. Still, whole, yes. We will let this become an endless loop now, a rhythm with no beginning and no end, something the mind can follow for a few breaths, before forgetting to follow at all. The garden is here. The moon is above. The air is cool and still, holding the scents of rosemary, lemon balm, and silver lunaria. The fountain's voice is steady, soft, constant, patient. It speaks the same word over and over in a language older than thought. Rest, rest, rest. Your body is heavy, but not in the way of burden, heavy in the way of something perfectly placed, not needing to move. Your arms and legs are long and loose. Your shoulders are dropped, your jaw soft, your brow smooth. Every part of you knows the position it can hold for hours without effort. The moonlight is a blanket that does not shift, does not slip. It covers the courtyard, and it covers you. Not pressing, not cooling, only keeping, and in that keeping, you drift deeper. If a thought tries to rise, it meets the glow of the lunaria, and it becomes smaller, lighter, until it floats away, like a petal on still water. If a sound leans close, it falls into the fountain's rhythm, softened and rounded, until it is only part of the quiet. You breathe, the garden breathes, the night breathes. 1, 2, 3, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale. And again. And again. The alchemist's work is done, and yet the work of the night goes on, growing stillness in the air, folding comfort into the dark, weaving sleep into your bones. You are part of that work now. You are part of the night's long patience. The garden is here. The moon is above. The air is cool and still. The fountain's voice is steady. And you are sleeping, over and over and over again. A place where there is nothing left to add, because everything needed for rest is already here. The garden is whole. The air is still, heavy with the scent of herbs warmed earlier in the day. The lunaria leaves are lit from within, each one a small, silver moon. The fountain is not simply making sound, it's breathing for you now, each drop a slow heartbeat in the night. The moon is steady. It will not leave before you wake. It will not dim. Its light is the same on every breath, the same on every breath, the same on every dream, the same through every hour that passes without your knowing. Your body is not lying in the garden. It is the garden. The cool stone underfoot is the weight in your hips. The tall rosemary is the length of your legs. The ivy along the wall is the ease in your spine. And the warm glow of the lantern is the quiet in your chest. The alchemist is here, too, but you cannot see him because you are seeing through him. You share his stillness, his unhurried mind, his complete absence of need. His work is finished, and so is yours. There is no before, there is no after, only the deep, unbroken now that holds you the way. A stone basin holds water completely, without spilling, without rushing. You breathe. The night breathes. The breath continues. It will continue. Whether you notice or not, it will keep you in this place. Whether you dream or not, you are safe. You are whole. You are gone. Yet you are exactly where you belong. The moon will keep its place. The garden will keep its quiet. The fountain will keep its rhythm. And you will keep your sleep until morning comes. Softly, without hurry, you will remain here, and you will sleep.